Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Welcome, my friends, my family, new people. Welcome into Tuned In with Linda Krause Barnett. I am obviously your host, and I am so grateful to be here. Each day, we will show up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to tune in. We're going to tune in to whatever it is that either a message that I feel compelled to speak on or something that you asked me to share. But we're going to just tune into the collective, tune into our inner vibrations, tune into our hearts and our souls, and see what comes up. So I am so excited to be here with you today. I am trying something new. It's called Restream. Trish got me into it. I don't even know if it's right. It's day one. I don't know if you can see me. So if you could see me, please comment because I'm a little worried that I'm trying something new. But hopefully I'm live and hopefully you're here. So I am the founder of Compass Productions, a multimedia agency, and I am also the author of Reboot Your Life, Bring Back Your Spark. Okay. And one of the ways in which I have brought back my spark is tuning in to me, to my highest vibration, to my highest desires, to my biggest dreams, and knowing that when I am tuned in to the best version of myself, then I am doing a favor to all the people in my life and all the people in my world and beyond, right? And the best thing we can do for the universe, the best thing we can do for the people we love most is to tune in to who we are, to our authenticity, to our unique soul print, right? Because each of us has a soul print, and to express that out into the world and to say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is what I believe, this is what is important to me, this is what I create in the world. And no, it won't be for everybody, but it'll be for the right people. And what will happen is even those who it is not for will get some sort of vibration from it, will get some sort of impact from it. Because you know how sometimes things that turn you off still interest you, things that bother you, you still can't help but watch, you're attracted to it because it's contrast, right? We live in a duality. So sometimes even the things that aren't in alignment with us are there to show us like, wait, that doesn't feel in alignment. That doesn't feel like what I want. And because it's different than what you think you want, you're kind of intrigued by it, right? So you putting yourself out into the world is not only the greatest expression of yourself, but it really does affect everyone who, and you know, there are people who won't even watch this who may get the energy from it kind of cross their field. And so I just want to start today. We're talking about abundance. And I have the most juicy things to tell you. Specifically, today is going to revolve very heavily around Wayne Dyer. But part of abundance for me, I've always had a really tough time connecting abundance, the concept of abundance, because I always equated it to money. That's it. That's the only area where when you said abundance, I automatically thought dollar bills, right? And I've never really captured abundance or financial abundance up until now. And so it was a hard topic for me because I felt like, well, abundance means you're rich, you have a lot of money. That was like the synonym of abundance. But truly, as I tune into me, as I tune into the bigger picture of life, as I age and learn and grow and evolve, what I'm finding is that abundance, you know, right now, today, showing up for you, tuning in to you guys and to me, that's a form of abundance because there's all this energy, creativity, passion, purpose inside of my heart. And so often I hold on to it. I just like swallow it. It's like swallow. Don't get it out. Don't get it out. People will judge you. What will they think? You know, you're all over the place. You might not make sense. And that constriction, that holding on to my creative force, my life force, is lack, right? It's the opposite of abundance. And when I made the decision, like, no, I have things to share with the world, I have ideas, I have a creative force that lives inside of me that is begging to be shared with the world, my reality. And once you begin to open that tap, because the water is always flowing through it. And sometimes, it's like you turn it off, but you're not really shutting the water off. You're just not letting it drip through the tap. But once you tap in, once you open that tap and agree that you're going to let the water flow, you could feel the release. You could feel, right, just the opening, the expansion in your heart and in your creative forces. And the more you feed creativity, the more it chooses you. The more you feed the channeled messages, the more they choose you. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. The more that you say, yes, use me as a channel, use me to set out the mission, use me to share that message. I'm not getting ideas all day long just for myself, right? Not all the ideas are meant for me. Some are meant for somebody else. And how will I know who they're meant for if I'm afraid to share? And what is more important at the end of the day? I'm going to be judged whether I show up or I don't show up. If I don't show up, I'm going to be judged for not showing up. And if I show up, I may be judged for how I come across or what I say or what I do. So at the end of the day, I'm not escaping judgment, but I'm choosing that I'm making a choice that I choose to live in abundance of my creativity. Because since I've had so many restrictions, I felt so many blocks correlating abundance to money, but ideas come to me like $1,000,000 bills. I get ideas that it's like a nonstop workshop in my mind. They just come down. I don't know how I see the chat in here. But if you're here, let me know. I definitely cannot see any comments, but say hi and let me know you're here. Maybe I'll see them. But for me, what I feel very abundant with is these ideas that come through, right? You just talk to me for 5 minutes and I've got 25 ideas for things that you could do, things that you can write, things that you could, I see for you. I'm like a seer, right? A visionary. And so when I feel your energy and I spend a little time with you, your energy infuses with my energy and I begin to have visions and I begin to get ideas and I begin to create on your behalf. What a beautiful gift that I have been granted. The ability to create for someone, to activate someone, to spark someone, right? Like a fire starter. Trish and I talked about this a few weeks ago. I feel like a fire starter. I just give you that little spark and then I watch your fire just grow into the beautiful glowing light that it's meant to be. And so where I've been hiding that gift away from the world is now what I realize, the source of my abundance. And that gift, that naturally occurring source of abundance within me is what's going to provide financial abundance, right? You can't, I don't want to say can't, but for me, at least in my paradigm, financial abundance is a consequence, is a result of tuning in to the abundance that is your God-given gifts and talents, your God-given skills, your God-given natural flow. When you tune into those things that abundantly just come to you, right? Some people get abundant ideas. Some people get abundant, ability to do science and math, whatever it is that is the predominant thought, the predominant vibe or energy, that is your key to the door of financial abundance. And so it all starts to click in. So what I want to tell you today is there's two things. I want to get to the tools because they're my favorite part of today, right? So the tools I'm going to teach you today are called Dyer's Dozen, and they are Wayne Dyer's 12 keys to unlocking abundance. And here's the deal, guys. I'm guilty of this, so I'm going to speak on my behalf, but I bet that you're all guilty of it too. And that's like, we always say, how do I tap into abundance? How do I tap into wealth? How do I tap into, whatever it is we're seeking? And the thing is, there are people who have done it already. Whatever it is we're trying to do, most likely someone has tried it or someone has been successful at it. And so we have to follow those breadcrumbs, right? There are books written on it. There are videos. We have access to so many things in this beautiful age that we live in, is that every bit of information is right at our fingertips. It's all right there. And now what we can do is we can look back and we can see how other people have done it. And then we can take that and make it our own. Okay, you did this. I get it. Use your framework. I'm going to use your framework and processes, but I'm going to lindify them. And by lindifying them, I'm putting my unique frequency and vibration into a template so that the universe has no choice but to deliver. And I'm really out there right now, so I hope that I'm making sense. Anywhere else outside of my own head, it totally makes sense to me. So comment and let me know if it makes sense to you. Again, I'm not seeing any comments. I see numbers, but hopefully if you're commenting, I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see it. Okay, so real quick before I get into the tools, what I want to touch upon is, what does it mean to tune into abundance? And it just doesn't mean, the best quote around this is a Wayne Dyer quote, because it seems to be a Wayne Dyer day today. And it says, abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into, right? So you ask yourself, what does abundance mean to me? I'm going to start with the dictionary definition like I do every morning. And the dictionary definition was pretty limited. Isn't it funny that there's a limited definition of abundance? I just think that's funny. So it said an ample quantity. Now, when you look up the synonym for ample, it says enough. So what does it mean to have enough money? Doesn't that mean something different? Does an ample quantity signify abundance to you? Does a tree have an ample amount of leaves? It feels like it has enough. Like, to me, it has more than enough. It's abundant. Abundant to me, in my definition, is more than enough. Unlimited, infinite, eternal. The other definition was relative degree of plentiness, right? So abundance was defined as a relative degree of plentiness. Relative to what? So once again, this definition is based on your perspective. Relative to finally having a roof over your head, relative to being able to not worry about the mortgage or food on the table, relative to someone who grew up having a lot and now has more, right? Relative is based on our perspective, our belief systems, and our life experiences. So abundance, therefore, is defined a little bit differently by everybody's point of reference, unless you tap into source and nature and you get the universal definition that abundance is more than enough, available to everyone and all around you, forever and always. So we have to start shifting that abundance exists. We have examples of it. No matter where we live, no matter who we are, no matter what our environment, there are examples of abundance all around us if we don't just look at finance as the only example of abundance, right? Because the world offers so much more. If you think about the amount of breaths you take in a 24-hour period, if you think about the amount of times your heart beats in a 24-hour period, if you think about the number of cells in your body, the number of strands in your DNA, like, things go on and on and on. There's so much more than enough. And tuning into abundance is tuning into an energy of what abundance means to you. Does it mean freedom? Right? For me, abundance would mean freedom. Well, freedom to do what? I don't know, freedom to travel, freedom to spend, freedom to share my money with the world, freedom to help, freedom to create, right? Open a studio, start producing documentaries, start gathering stories of people who have overcome hardships and challenges, and start sharing those stories with the world with the highest level of production value. Start a publishing company and get people's stories out into the world. People who aren't rich, people who aren't educated, who deserve a chance to tell their story and share it with the world. That's what abundance would do for me. That's my vision, okay? And now what I want to get to is Wayne Dyer's dozen. Okay, so he says these are 12 keys to unlocking abundance. And again, if we want to follow the breadcrumbs of people who have done it, of people who said, I've done it and this is what you do, you'll find a couple things. You'll find that they're all pretty much saying about the same thing, right? Wayne Dyer, Rob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, they definitely say it different, but at the end of the day, if we dissect and dissect and dissect and dissect, they're all trying to tell us the same thing. Thoughts are things. You create your reality. You have to see it in your mind before you can see it in your hands. Like, there are some basic concepts that all these geniuses are saying in their own unique way. And so maybe you can't hear it when Bob Proctor says it. Maybe you can't hear it when, Joe Dispenza says it, but maybe you can hear it when Wayne Dyer says it. So you start seeking out who's done it, who's done what I'm trying to do, and who can say it in a tone and in a voice and in a manner in which I will completely understand. And then how can I amplify that to my own frequency, set it to my own internal channel, make it my own, and then put it out into the world. So tool number 1. Now, this one is debatable, right? I can see us having a little bit of commentary on this one, but this is the first one. Want more for others than what you want for yourself. Now, I know some of us it triggers because it's like, I thought me first, right? Like I thought, and it is, and I believe that it is. I believe we have to take care of ourselves. We have to put our gas mask on. That's what I write about in the book. When I finally realized why they made me put the mask on myself before my child. I got it. I finally got it. So, but I think he's tuning into something a little different here because, and if you want him, he's available on YouTube. Just say Dyer's dozen and you can hear it from the horse's mouth. But what he basically says is, whatever you feel is lacking in your world, it's hard for you it's lacking for you. But if you want it more for someone else, if you say, I want to be able to create a nonprofit organization because of all the people that I could help, of all the little children that I could put into schools, whatever your mission is or desire is, when you think of who it can impact, it often has a greater motivating force than if you were to do it for yourself. But I'm not here to debate his dozen. These are his. I'm just talking to you about his 12 keys to unlocking abundance because I feel like they're super badass and important. And again, if I Lindify it, I may take out number 1, or I may not take it out, but I may put some Linda into it and say, wait a minute, take care of myself in a way that allows me to best care for others. Maybe that's what I rewrite for number 1. We don't have to take it as is. We take the essence of what it is and we make it our own. Number 2, think from the end. I freaking love this one. This is that like standing in the version of you that is 4 years down the line, 1 year down the line, 5 years down the line, and closing your eyes and going to her. Where is she? What is she wearing? What does she smell like? Who is she talking to? What is her job? What is her house? Right? And everything I do in this present moment is done as if it was her doing it. I go and I capture her and I see, wow, look at the abundance in this woman's life. And then I bring it back to present moment and I infuse everything with her scent, with her essence, with her words, because I am now bridging the gap between her and I. I'm like pulling that timeline in. So maybe that timeline isn't 5 years away. Maybe I can call in that timeline, collapse time, and bring her in the now. And that's the quantum shit that gets me so excited. I don't know who's here, but I'm not seeing your comments. Okay, number 3, be an appreciator. And he gave this great example because he talked about going to a car lot, right? And you leave the lot with your car and they say, wow, the moment you drive off the lot, your car depreciates. But when you buy a house, 2 years later, your house appreciates, right? And so number 3 was be an appreciator. And so what does it mean when your house appreciates in value? It means that it's holding more value. It's worth more. It's more valuable than it was, right? So when you're an appreciator, your value, you're up leveling your value. You're infusing yourself with more more awareness, more self-care, more self-love, higher vibrational frequencies. And you're appreciating your value. So when we depreciate ourselves, it's when we have less value, when we're in a low vibrational state, when we're doing things in resistance, when we get that hunch to go left, but we still turn right. And we're going against source energy. Now, we'll still end up where we need to be. It'll just be a little bit of a bumpier road to get there. But I do believe that all roads lead to paradise. And that is my belief system. Okay. Number 4, stay in rapport with source energy. I mean, that's self-explanatory, right? Stay in constant, leave that channel open at all times while you're sleeping, while you're awake, while you're fighting, while you're kissing, while you're loving, while you're making love, while you're working. Just stay connected. Leave that rapport always open with source energy. Number 5, he talks about resistance in the sense that every single thought that is not from source is resistance. Whenever you're being unkind, uncreative, you say, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, I didn't, right? Those are all disconnects from source. Now, again, they have a purpose because they're there to guide us back to source. It's like little kids when you're trying to get them to go here and they fall and go here. You don't just let them go into the kitchen where the hot stove is. You redirect them. You pick them up and you put them back. And you say, it's okay, baby. You can walk, but you should walk this way. It's just a much safer path for you, right? Number 6, contemplate yourself as surrounded by the conditions you want to produce. And that's the same, I think, in my mind, a little bit as number 2. Contemplate yourself as if surrounded by the conditions you want to produce. Don't see reality as it is. See reality as you wish it to be, as you know it will be, because you are a creative, powerful, fucking magical force in the universe. And as soon as you believe it and think it and put a little feeling behind it, it is. So be it, and so it is. Number 7, understand the art of allowing. The path of least resistance. Again, all the paths will take you to where you're going, but some paths are just a little bit less bumpy. And how do you know which path that is? Well, you allow, you connect to source, you connect to the highest version of yourself. Do you see how number 1 is connected to number 2, is connected to number 3? And at the end of the day, the messages, no matter who they're coming from, are the same. You are pure source. You are capable of anything and everything. You are full and utter potential. And when you tune in to those forces, you are also unstoppable. Number 8, practice radical humility. You are not this body. You are not this mind. You are not your possessions. You are pure source. And the moment you drop the programs and the can'ts and the beliefs that have been fed into you since birth, and the moment you connect with pure source energy and remember who we are, is the moment that we are introduced to the field of infinite intelligence. It's the moment we start a relationship with the quantum field. Number 9, constant state of gratitude. Need I say more? We understand that. Most important, as far as I'm concerned, that would be number 1. Number 10, you can never resolve a problem by condemning it. This blew my mind. Shame is one of the lowest vibrational energies in the universe. And in order to raise your consciousness and go into a higher energetic realm, in order to ascend, in order to produce the thoughts in your mind, you have to be at a higher vibration than shame. So once again, you can never resolve a problem by condemning it. That blew my mind because that shifts things for me a lot, because I do condemn my problems. And this is a beautiful reframe. Number 11, play the match game. Am I matched up with the field of intention? And number 12 is meditate, which is the last key to unlocking abundance. So what I thought was really perfect is number 11 could be the question you ask as you enter your meditation. And guys, meditation is a 3-minute time to yourself, or a 30-minute time to yourself, or a 3-hour time to yourself, right? 3 minutes counts. 3 seconds count. Any time that you can give to tuning in and quieting your mind is a meditation, and it all counts. But sometimes we don't know how to focus our minds in a meditation. We don't know a question to ask that'll just laser focus. Like, I want an answer and I just need to ask one question and get one answer. I have 3 minutes and go, right? So I'm giving you a question. Am I matched up with the field of intention? What does that look like? How do I match up with the field of intention? What's next? What's my next step in order to align with the field of intention? One question. And then set your timer for 3 minutes, and then release, and then go out and live your life. And I promise you this, that along your day, along the way, someone will call, someone will meet you, something will happen, some paper will fly across your path. I don't know how, but the magic of this beautiful world will touch you, and you will see the answer in a way that you hadn't expected it before. So today we tuned into abundance. It is Thursday, which I love to call Friday Eve. I hope this worked. I'm a little sad because I didn't see any comments and I didn't feel anybody's presence. I see a number only, so I don't even know if I'm live. I hope that I am, and I hope that you're here, and I hope that this message touched you in any way, in any single way. I hope that if nothing else, you felt the energy within me that is just loving you and caring for you and wanting to see you transform your whole life in any way that you want it. I want you to live the most rebooted, sparked up, beautiful fucking life you have ever imagined. It's all there. I love you with all of my heart, and I thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Compass Productions. If you loved this, share it, show it, like it, love it, or leave it. It's all good. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Now I got to figure out how to end it.